That money go where I go, smoking on gelato.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel where I do a little bit of everything. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a follow-up video to the ToothGem video I did with my mom. Now that video was more of the process of doing ToothGems and how to actually put ToothGems on not only properly but safely, answering some of the general frequently asked questions I've got throughout having my own small business. And if you guys didn't know, you could go back and watch that video and hear the backstory of my small business endeavor. So as you guys know, when I had my small business under the same name, Posh Pixie, while I had that small business, I also got a lot of questions, and I also had questions of my own that I had for myself that I did my research and answered. So I would just like to put a disclaimer that I am not giving any medical advice. I'm not a professional. This is just based off of my research and the questions you guys are asking me. I'm purely answering them based off my experiences and my personal experience with doing ToothGems with the background of my research. So yep. Is it safe? Yes, ToothGems are safe. Doing the process that you've seen in the last video, yes, ToothGems are safe. They are a non-invasive procedure, and I use all non-toxic materials and 100% Swarovski glass crystals that are non-toxic and have no traces of lead, so they will not tarnish being in your mouth. How long is the process? So the process altogether, like the consultation may take 10 to 15 minutes. It really just depends on the person. If the person knows what they're gonna get, if they're getting something simple like me, I'm just getting the 2 studs, it fairly goes by pretty quickly. 10 minutes is just like, what size do you want and where do you want them? However, it could take a little longer if your process is a little more complicated, or if you're getting multiple gems. Usually more than 3 takes a little bit longer, because again, you have to map out everything, choose all the jewelry. So it could be 10 to 15 minutes. It's very rarely over. I wouldn't even say it ever goes over 10 minutes in my experience, but yeah, I would give 10 to 15 minutes if you are like booking blocks, to book at least 10 to 15 minutes for consultation. You could also cut that time down if you do the consultation through messages and get a better idea of what they want, so that you have that little portfolio of them, so that when they do come, you could just run it over and be like, this is what you want, confirming placement. Yeah, the application itself of the jewelry takes 5 to 10 minutes, and again, it varies to how many are being applied and not necessarily like how big or how small. It's just really how many you get done. How long does it last? ToothGems are a semi-permanent procedure, which means that eventually they will come off. In the beginning, I gave a 6-month minimum, but realistically, I would give a 3-month minimum, because there are factors to be considered, like your eating habits. If you like really crunchy foods, it's going to come off sooner. The placement, if you get your gems, like I had a gem at the corner of my tooth, because as you guys know, I have one that's over here. It used to be paired with a gold heart that was at the corner and the bottom of my teeth, and it popped off while I was like, I don't remember what I was eating. I think it was like a cookie, and it popped off because that's where the biting happens. So there's a lot more friction. So it came off a lot sooner than the one on my canine, because it's a lot further up in my tooth and I don't really eat on this side. Also, how big they are matters as well. Like this one's pretty small, so I'm expecting it to stay on a lot longer just because it is so small. Having bigger ones can cause a lot more friction with what I'm eating when I brush my teeth, especially because these are in the very front of my teeth. On a small teeth, like say I bite into an apple, those are being impacted first. It makes sense to be aware of that when thinking about the longevity of my bottom tooth gems, for example. But yeah, it could last from anywhere from 3 months to, I would say, a year, because I've done ToothGems, like my mom's ToothGems lasted about a year before she put them back on. So will the jewelry obstruct my brushing or flossing? Done right, the jewelry should not obstruct your brushing or flossing, especially your flossing. When you get it done, the bonding should not be more than your tooth, because again, it will cure like that. So if that does happen and it's closing the gaps in your tooth, that will cause issues. It will be very uncomfortable. You will not be able to floss. That means it was done wrong, and you should get that removed if it was done like that, because that's an issue. Things can get stuck behind there that you won't be able to get out. Plaque could build up, and no. The jewelry itself should not, when done right, should not affect your dental hygiene at all. It's just there. You feel it for, I would say, the first couple days, 3 to 4 days, but then you get used to it and you forget it's even there. Or it's the other way around, where once it comes off, you feel that it's like extra smooth and you're like,
I feel like something's missing.
Yes, when done right, it should not obstruct your brushing, your flossing, anything, unless you have braces or wear a retainer. Then that's the only way it obstructs. If you do wear a retainer, I would just suggest putting them on top of your retainer. Your retainer won't fit over the gem. Maintenance. I would recommend against charcoal toothpaste, because it will dye the bonding, which is like the glue of the gem, and it will discolor it, which makes it look dark and very noticeable, but everything else is fine. You would want to wait about 24 hours if you have an electric toothbrush. It takes 24 hours to completely set, so using an electric toothbrush can disrupt what's not set yet and lift it up, and that would also affect your longevity. So 24 hours before turning on the vibration, but you could always brush without the vibration. I would say wait at least an hour before eating, because you don't want to accidentally pop them off as soon as you get them. If you eat an apple directly after you get them done, they can pop off because they're not set yet. They're set in place, however, they still need to harden over the 24 hours. An hour after, I would say wait to eat. Maybe eat something soft. Don't be chow downs, no apples or corn on the cob or nothing. Like, be just mindful. And of course you could drink. Drinks are fine. But yeah, if you could just avoid the general area for about 24 hours, that would be ideal. If you can't, just be cautious, be mindful. Yeah.
What if I swallow it?
Don't worry if you swallow the jewelry, especially if you know you're using certified Swarovski glass crystals. You are okay. It will naturally pass. It won't obstruct anything in your system, and they are non-toxic, which means they're also lead free, and you really have nothing to worry about if you accidentally swallow them. I would find that I maybe accidentally swallowed 1 or 2, but usually when they pop off, it's when I'm eating something and I feel it, so I just spit it out. And yeah, it's not only the gem, it's also the glue that comes with it, so your tooth is completely smooth when it comes off.
What if I want to remove it?
If you want to remove the gems, the process is 100% reversible. It is only a semi-permanent procedure, which means that you could either get it off or wait for it to fall off. I do highly recommend not taking it off yourself and calling up a dental professional or your dentist to get it buffed off, to ensure that no damage is done to your tooth, because it is very easy to do damage to your enamel, and damage to your teeth is irreversible. So do not try to take it off yourself. If you need them off urgently, I highly recommend go to a dental professional. I cannot stress that enough. Do not do it yourself. Don't pick it off yourself. This is semi-permanent, but it is sturdy, which means you can't just flick it off with your fingernail when it's done right. It's on there. There's no easy way to do it. Like, don't even try, because it's not gonna work. Don't do that to yourself. It's very dangerous. Please go to a dental professional.
First impressions.
Immediately after getting ToothGems, you are going to feel it. Getting them on my bottom teeth, I feel them a lot more. My jewelry is also a lot bigger on my bottom teeth, but yes, you will feel them for about, I want to say 3 to 4 days, until your body like gets used to it being there. But yeah, I would say the bigger the jewelry, the more you're gonna feel it, but there will be a point where you get used to it. I personally haven't changed anything in my routine as my dental care goes. I still brush the same, I still floss the same, I still use all of my products. I haven't changed anything out. I personally don't use any charcoal toothpaste or mouthwash or anything, so I didn't have to do much to my routine. If you want to polish them, just brush your teeth. Brushing your teeth is the way to polish your gems, and after you brush your teeth is when they look the shiniest and the nicest. Yeah, that will be all. Did I cover everything? I think I covered everything mostly. If not, be sure to leave me a comment down below and I will answer your questions down there. That's all for today's video. I hope to continue to make content you'll come back and enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.